Hello, Internet friends. I found a very interesting article in Psychology Today called 7 Stages of Gaslighting in a Relationship, How Gaslighters Emotionally Manipulate, Traumatize, and Exploit Victims. The purpose of this article for me is to, number one, give you some tips on how people can be abusing you and you don't even know it. And number two, this also tells us the importance of having good relationships with people and not isolating ourselves. Let me get into it. Let's define gaslighting. It is a form of persistent manipulation and brainwashing that causes the victim to doubt his or herself and ultimately lose his or her own sense of perception, identity, and self-worth. Okay, so the term was derived from the 1944 film Gaslight, in which a husband tries to convince his wife that she's insane by causing her to question herself and her reality. All right, now, so gaslighting has a milder form which can create a subtle but inequitable power dynamic in a relationship where the gaslightee is subjected to the gaslighter's unreasonable rather than fact-based scrutiny, judgment, or microaggression. I'm sorry to use that word microaggression. At its worst, pathological gaslighting constitutes a severe form of mind control and psychological abuse. Gaslighting can occur in personal relationships, at the workplace, or over an entire society. Over an entire society. Let's see. White privilege? Racism? Multiple studies and writings have focused on the phenomenon of gaslighting and its destructive impact. All right, here are the 7 stages. Number 1, lie and exaggerate. The gaslighter creates a negative narrative about the gaslightee. Number 2, repetition. Like psychological warfare, the falsehoods are repeated constantly in order to stay on the offensive, control the conversation, and dominate the relationship. Number 3, escalate when challenged. When called on their lies, the gaslighter escalates the dispute by doubling and tripling down on their attack, refuting substantive evidence with denial, blame, and more false claims, i.e. misdirection, sowing doubt and confusion. Number 4, wear out the victim. By staying on the offensive, the gaslighter eventually wears down their victim, who becomes discouraged, resigned, pessimistic, fearful, debilitated, and self-doubting. All right, so this part's really important. If you are a victim of a gaslighter, you're going to feel these emotions when you're around certain people. If you start feeling discouraged, resigned, pessimistic, fearful, debilitating, and self-doubting, you really should step back and reevaluate your relationship with this person. And if anyone makes you question your own perception, identity, and reality, this is a huge red flag. Number 5, form codependent relationships. The Oxford Dictionary defines codependency as an excessive emotional or psychological reliance on a partner. In a gaslighting relationship, the gaslighter elicits constant insecurity and anxiety in the gaslightee, thereby pulling the gaslightee by the strings. The gaslighter has the power to grant acceptance, approval, respect, safety, and security. That's huge, you guys. The gaslighter also has the power, and often threatens to, take them away. A codependent relationship is formed based on fear. Let me read that again. A codependent relationship is formed based on fear, vulnerability, and marginalization. And let's back up just a tiny bit. If we are isolated and do not have relationships with other people, then we can be a victim of a gaslighter. Number 6, give false hope. As a manipulative tactic, the gaslighter will occasionally treat the victim with mildness, moderation, and even superficial kindness or remorse to give the gaslightee false hope. In these circumstances, the victim might think, maybe he's really not that bad. Maybe things are going to get better, or let's give it a chance. But beware, the temporary mildness is often a calculated maneuver intended to instill complacency and have the victim's guard down before the next act of gaslighting begins. With this tactic, the gaslighter also further reinforces a codependent relationship. All right, let me stop just a second here. So when your abuser starts to give you false hope, they can sense that you're getting ready to give them the heave-ho. And that's when they make you doubt yourself, when they start acting kind of normal and nice to you. Number 7, dominate and control. At its extreme, the ultimate objective of a pathological gaslighter is to control, dominate, and take advantage of another individual or a group, or even an entire society. By maintaining and intensifying an incessant stream of lies and coercions, the gaslighter keeps the gaslightees in a constant state of insecurity, doubt, and fear. The gaslighter can then exploit their victims at will for the augmentation of their power and personal gain. Friends, this is the end of the article. I hope that it was helpful. Let me know in the comments what you're thinking. Thank you so much for listening, and take care.